my channel. I am Bhagisha Mishra and I review and decode beauty pageants at my channel. So if you're visiting the channel for the very first time, please ensure to subscribe and turn on the bell icon so you'll be the first to get notified whenever a video goes live at my channel. So I just finished watching Miss Universe Philippines 2020 grand finale and I was very impressed with the entire show. They maintained the social distancing very nicely and they took all necessary measures to protect their candidates and the team. So that was really laudable. And talking about the winner, Rabia Mateo. Now, if you have followed my previous prediction, you know that I was rooting for her to win the Miss Universe Philippines 2020 crown. And I'm so glad that she did. She looked so beautiful and mesmerizing in today's grand finale. Her gown, her styling was on point. She has a great body, great walk, great stage presence. So we are going to talk about it in detail as we proceed ahead. But if you talk about the prospects of Philippines at the Miss Universe pageant, I think they have made a very smart move by crowning Rabia Mateo for the Miss Universe pageant because she has a great stage presence. She's somebody who is different from the previous contenders which Philippines has sent to the Miss Universe pageant. And looking at the countries like Colombia and South Africa who have performed exceptionally well at the Miss Universe pageant, IMG kind of looks for the variety, different kind of winners. So Rabia is somebody who is not the very same kind of candidate which we have seen at the Miss Universe stage. She's very different from them. So that makes Philippines on the brighter side. Talking about Rabia Mateo, she's a very great candidate and she walks very well on the stage. She has a great body which can be seen very beautifully in the swimsuit round, as well as when she comes at the evening gown round. She owns it. She walks like she is the queen. She has the kind of royal charm in her personality. So that is something very magnetic about her, very charismatic about her. But when we talk about the final question and answer round, I feel that she needs to work upon it because her voice needs a little bit of modulation, her pitch needs a little bit of polishing, and I think that could be worked upon since she's a lecturer herself. So I feel that she will be easily able to understand how she needs to transform with a given time, and they have a lot of time to prepare for the Miss Universe pageant. So for the other countries, I must say that Philippines should not be taken in a casual way. Philippines has sent a very strong candidate and we have seen Venus Raj representing Philippines in 2010 who was a Filipino Indian, and now when the decade is beginning we have seen another Indian Filipino who is going to represent Philippines at the Miss Universe stage. So all in all, I was very impressed with the kind of selection they have made, and Rabia Mateo is certainly a very wise choice which Philippines is sending to the Miss Universe pageant. So with my smile on my face, you can understand how much happy I am for this result, and I'd been hoping for her to win since a very long time. And after Natasha couldn't win Miss South Africa and even Karishma could not make it to the top 3, I was very disappointed and I was afraid if Rabia could make it to the winner point or not. So I'm quite happy with the results. I'm very satisfied and I'm very glad to share that all of my top 5 favorites whom I predicted in my final predictions, they made it to the actual top 5 of the finale. So that was something which was very tempting. And also apart from that, I guess I haven't counted yet, but I guess 12 or 13 of my top 16 favorites have also made it to the semi-finalist position of Miss Universe Philippines 2020. So all in all, I was very happy with the results. I was very satisfied. All of the deserving candidates made it to the finals and it was a great show to witness. And I won't complain about the space, the stage and everything because the pandemic situation is going on and we must really appreciate Philippines for putting up such a great show. Also apart from that, I really want to appreciate Philippines for the fact that they conducted their pageant, the national pageant, even in the middle of the pandemic. So that is something which is very appreciative because when it comes to the Miss Universe pageant, Philippines can never take Miss Universe pageant in a very casual way. And as I said in my previous predictions, that Philippines always ensures to send the best quality of candidates. So when the competition began, I was not very hopeful that they will send a very good candidate. But as of now, I feel that Rabia can actually make it to the top 5 finals of the Miss Universe pageant. She has that kind of charisma in her. So that is what I feel regarding Rabia. And now let's talk about the grand finale and let's discuss each and every sub-contest and different activities which took place in the finale. So let's just dive in. So the show began with the top 16 semi-finalist announcement. I was very happy with the fact that they called group of 4 to 5 candidates on the stage and didn't call all the candidates on the stage so as to avoid the crowding. Given in the pandemic scenario, that was quite great, and the contestants were standing apart from each other. They were standing on very great distance, so that was something which was very worthy of taking consideration. All the candidates who delivered during the prelims in the evening gown, swimsuit and interview made it to the top 16 semi-finals, and I was very much satisfied with the entire top 16 selection. I don't feel that they left out anybody who was deserving, so every deserving candidate made it to top 16, so the competition was quite fair in my opinion. Also, one thing unusual happened in the finale of Miss Universe Philippines. There was no top 10. So all the candidates, the 16 semi-finalists, they competed in both the swimsuit and evening gown round. So that was quite interesting as well, because we got to see all of the candidates in both the evening gown and swimsuit competition, because usually some of the candidates who perform quite mediocre in the swimsuit, they get eliminated and we are unable to see how they perform in the evening gown round. So that was something which was very good with regard to the top 16 semi-finalists, and we got to see all of the candidates in their complete glory. Moving ahead to the swimsuit competition, the swimsuit round completely reminded me of Miss Universe 2013 pageant, where all the candidates were carrying a robe around with them. So that was quite an interesting one. Now, Biliran delivered more than what I expected from her. Before the pageant began, I was quite unsure about her because she did not deliver well in the previous pre-pageant activities, so I was not very much convinced. However, in the finale, she made sure that she gives her best. Now let's talk about Albe Paula Ortega. Paula Ortega as well gave quite a decent performance in the finale, and I was very happy with her swimsuit walk. And now let's talk about Pauline Emlings Bohol. So before the pageant began, Pauline was already ruling in my top 3, and she was a hot favorite of many of the other people as well. So Pauline delivered in the finale as expected, so she did give a good performance, and that was not something which came as a surprise. Now let's talk about Acklin. Acklin, as usual, just like the prelims, gave quite a decent performance. I liked her facial expressions, but I felt that she rushed a little bit. And now let's talk about the queen herself, Rabia Mateo. I mean, just look at the way she's walking on the runway. Wow, that is super stunning. What a beautiful walk, what a beautiful gaze. Her expressions, her smile, everything is on point. I completely loved her performance, just as I did in the prelims. So I was very much convinced, and I knew that she's going to go ahead. And now let's talk about Billie Heckenson, Cavity. I am more impressed by Billie then I was impressed about her since the last time I watched her perform in the prelims. So she gave a better performance than the prelims, and I completely enjoyed her gaze, her attitude, her aura, and I liked the way she smiled in the swimsuit as well. And now coming to Miss Oriental, she wasn't in my radar to win the crown in the final predictions, and she wasn't in my top 16 either, but the way she performed in the finals, I deeply regret why I couldn't keep her in my top 16. She gave a very decent performance, and I feel that she suits more in the Miss World mold, so if she participates in the Miss World Philippines, I think she will make a great candidate. Coming to Tagwig, Sandra Lebanon. She walked very beautifully, and the way she glided on the runway, it was quite effortless. That turn, that smile, it was completely on point. I thoroughly enjoyed her walk. Yet another performance which caught my attention was of Michelle Gamabao, who was representing Quezon City. Now, I completely enjoyed her performance, and I had her in my top 5 when I was making my final prediction, and I believe that she gave more energy and more enthusiasm in the swimsuit round than she gave in the prelims. And the last one to enter the swimsuit competition was Isabella Yasmil. So Isabella was also one of my top 5 favorites, and I feel that she exuded more in the finale. The way she walked, the way she twirled, and she was more confident. She was completely enjoying her moment on the stage, and that's what is more important, how much you are having fun on the stage. So if you were to ask me my favorites from the swimsuit round, it will be Iloilo City, Rabia Mateo, Isabel Yasmil, and also Cavity. And now let's move ahead and talk about the evening gown competition. So Biliran was the one to start the competition, and I believe that if she would have given the similar kind of performance in the pre-pageant activities, then she would have gone more ahead in the competition. And now coming to Bohol Pauline Amlings. As much as I love Pauline in her performance, the way she walks and the way she talks, I wasn't very happy and convinced with the selection of the evening gown she made for the big night. I mean, she's a very strong candidate, and I was expecting a lot more from her when it came to the evening gown. So, her evening gown was quite good, it wasn't bad, but it was not enough to make a mark felt. Nonetheless, I enjoyed her performance. She was fierce but at the same time quite graceful. Can we just stop for a moment and start praising her beautiful smile? Ackland yet again made a very good comeback in the evening gown round after the swimsuit round. She was very good, and I liked the evening gown as well. It was accentuating her figure, her beauty, her poise, her posture. That was coming up very naturally in the gown. And now coming to Iloilo City. What a beautiful gown. I mean, just look at the details. Although the details were not very much explicitly visible on the stage, but I'm sure that this gown is a masterpiece. Now, if this gown would have gone to the Miss Universe stage, I'm sure it would have made its mark felt there as well. Now, Rabia, again, as I said in my prelims review, just look like the winner here. So it's very important to look like the winner on the grand night, on the grand finale. The way she posed at the head ramp and the way she smiled, it was very royal, very queenly, and the way she turned back when she was walking out, it was great. And now let's talk about Tracy Maureen in the evening gown competition. As much as I adore Tracy with the way she walks, the way she talks in the interview, I was not very much happy with the selection of the gown she made for this round, because the tube pattern of the gown along with the high slit was not going well according to me. Coming to Eliza Malai now, I was not very happy with the kind of selection which she made with her evening gown, because she looked more stunning in the prelims when she was wearing that golden gown, the hair, everything was on point in the prelims. I don't know what happened to her in the finale, because she was looking quite simple in the evening gown competition. Nonetheless, her performance was very nice. She gave a very good performance, but when it came to the overall appearance, I was not very much convinced and she did not stand out for me. I like this gown better on Kimberly Hackinson as compared to the prelims. The color was quite new and fresh, and she gave a great performance as usual. The way she posed and how she was walking on the stage, everything was on point. I really thoroughly enjoyed watching her take her moment on the stage as she continued to walk. So just as the swimsuit round, Miss Oriental yet again impressed me with her beautiful composure, her smile and her graceful aura in the evening gown round. She worked well with the evening gown and she was very much beautiful. Not talking about the performance, but this gown, not my cup of tea. The one gown which I did not like in the competition is only this particular gown. I actually did not like the color, the pattern, and even if we talk about the length of the evening gown, it looks quite short. So I wasn't a fan of this gown. Now let's talk about Sandra Lemonon from Tegway. Now Sandra gave a fantastic performance in the prelims of the evening gown competition, but when it came to the finals, I believe that this particular selection of the evening gown was not something which made her look perfect. Now in the prelims, if we observe her performance, she was very sultry, very seductive and very tempting. But when we talk about this particular gown, it looks like she is overdoing it. So this gown actually marred her chances. And coming to Quezon City, Michelle Gamabao, I think she made a wise choice by selecting a different gown, because this gown actually accentuated her curvy figure, and as usual her performance is on point. She has great facial expressions and nothing could actually beat her when it comes to taking her moment on the stage. Another gown which I did not much appreciate in the evening gown competition was of Isabel Yasmail. Now she gave a very good performance in the prelims and she wore a beautiful gown. I still wonder why did she change it. She looked good, she performed well as she always does. But when it comes to the evening gown, I don't feel that it was something which actually caught my attention for the right reasons. So she could have done a better job if she was given some other evening gown. So, all in all, if I were to name my three favorites from the evening gown competition, it will be Michelle Gamabao, Rabia Mateo, and Kimberly Heckinson. And then, after the evening gown competition and swimsuit competition, they announced the top 5 finalists, and I was so happy to see that all my top 5 favorites, whom I predicted in my final prediction, could actually make it to the final top 5 in the competition, who were Michelle Gamabao, Rabia Mateo, Kimberly Heckinson, Isabel Yasmil, and Pauline Amlings. Now, in the final question and answer round, two simultaneous questions were asked to the candidates, and they answered it so well, despite of the pressure they had to face while answering the two questions. So, I think Michelle Gamabao did a quite good job at the question and answer because she speaks very well. She has a great command over the language, and she knows what she's talking about. She's not simply mindlessly saying anything whatever comes to her mind. So, she gave a good job. Now, I thoroughly appreciate the Miss Universe Philippines organization for asking such a clever and smart yet difficult question. The contestants were asked one common question where they had to tell that in the given pandemic scenario, how essential do you think pageants are? To which Michelle answered that with the pageants, people can actually hope for a better future, and that's why we are here. Talking about Kimberly Heckinson, although she speaks very confidently, but her answer was not very concise. It was just simply beating the bush, and I could not actually grasp the real essence of the answer, which is why I believe that she placed on the number 5th position despite of her such strong caliber and performance. Now coming to Bohol. Now, if you have followed pageants for a very long time, you must have understood by this very time that in pageants, it's not very important about what you're saying, but how you're saying it. So Bohol's answer was quite mediocre, but the way she delivered that answer, that was laudable. I actually enjoyed listening to her, the emotions which she put in, the expressions with which she conveyed her ideas, that was simply mind-blowing. Now coming to the queen herself, Rabia Mateo. I think she delivered quite a decent answer. I won't say that it would be a very intelligent answer, but the way she answered it, that matters the most, just like I have said a few moments back. So Rabia establishes a personal connection with the audience, and that is a very strong factor because when I listen to her, I want to listen more to her because I feel that she is kind of establishing a personal connection with me when she is talking. So that is her strong quality, and I believe that's why she won the crown. Oh, how I simply love this question. Isabel Yasmil was asked if she were to define what beauty pageant is to a newly born child who has never seen the pageant, how would she describe it? And I think that she answered her question very well. She answered it with empathy, she answered it with grace, and the way she answered it, her emotions, her facial expression, her tone and voice pitch, that was really tempting. And that's why I believe she ended as the first runner-up in the competition. Now, did you look at the final question and answer round? It was so good. I really appreciate the fact that they asked two questions simultaneously, and that saved quite a lot of time. And also, I did not find a lot of crowd on the stage, which was a very good thing. So I really appreciate the questions which were asked to the candidates. That was a very smart question. More than the answers, I enjoyed listening to the question which they asked to their delegates. And one thing which I also appreciate towards the end of the crowning moment was that they were not holding hands. So that was also something which was very appreciative in the given pandemic scenario. So that was really worth watching, and I enjoyed watching it even more than the Miss South Africa finale last night. So that's what I feel about Miss Universe Philippines 2020 finale. Now, talking about the Asian representatives, I think now Philippines has come, so we all can gear up to see even more power-packed performance from Asia side at the Miss Universe pageant. And now considering the fact that Thailand has also crowned a pretty girl, India has crowned a girl who is very smart and has a good walk and stage presence. Asia is a continent which cannot be ignored at the Miss Universe pageant this year because all of the candidates are great in their own ways, and I find them stronger than all of the candidates who were crowned for Miss Universe 2020 from other reasons. I definitely see India, Thailand and Philippines placing in the semi-finals of the Miss Universe pageant. Now, how high will they go depends on their performance and how different candidates are chosen from other countries. So let's wait for them, and I was very hopeful for South Africa and Philippines, and I'm sure that Philippines did not disappoint me at all. I thoroughly enjoyed the show. I thoroughly loved the winner, and I'm looking forward to a great candidature from Philippines at the Miss Universe stage. So that was it for today's video. Do let me know in the comment section what did you think about Miss Universe Philippines 2020 Grand Finale, and also drop down your comments if you want to see something specific on my channel. I ensure to go through all the comments at my channel and answer as many as I can. So I will see you guys soon in the next video. Until next time.